Isolation Nation. Welcome to another social distancing social club. I am one of your hosts, Ben Gleib, a guide who will spiritually take you into a journey into the Peruvian forest and back. This is the social distancing social club. We can't wait for it to begin, and it has begun. So we're a little bit behind, but we're catching up right now, and we're back. Real time once more. And that's the time I'd like to introduce a man who I introduced at this exact point of the show, and that's why I do it. Please welcome the second leg of the four-legged tripod that makes up the quarantine. Give a warm, clapified welcome to Steve Hofstetter!
Thank you, Zombie Ben. I appreciate that. I am so excited for the start of today's show. because, oh, does Bowers have a story? So I'm going to get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, top right of the screen is our Venmo. You can PayPal at sdscshow.com. Of course, you can super chat, throw in some Facebook stars or some super hearts on Twitter. The point is, please support the show. And of course, join the Patreon. You can do that at patreon.com/SDSC. All that information is on the screen. And now on the screen is also Mr. Chris Bowers. Everybody, Chris Bowers.
All right, so you know that Indianapolis is where I'm at, and that's my favorite suit store. So I did go buy a new suit today. So here we go. I think you're gonna like this one, but
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Shimmer's pink and gold, right? Look at that shit. Huh? You like that a little bit? Now, I will say I kind of fucked up because I bought this because it came with a vest, which I thought was cool because I could, like, you know, beat Steve and have a vest. But I didn't try on the vest, and it does not fit at all. I got to lose about 40 more pounds in this weight loss challenge to get this vest on. But now I got a gold vest, so I think we're going to do all right.
Is that vest sewn in?
No, but it did come on the same hanger. It was not sewn in. It could be. But yeah.
I think.
And apologies real quick. Just had to mute Sam because there was an echo coming in. So if you could fix that, we're happy to unmute you.
What's amazing about Bowers, and a lot of people don't realize sometimes how he innovates and kind of discovers the future, he has figured out time travel with his clothes. And that one's to the past, by the way. That's to the past. That's to Vegas of the past.
That was actually, that jacket is both to the past and the future, because I think that's what they wore in Las Vegas 30 years ago. And that is also what they will wear in space in 700 years.
True.
So.
That is true. Crossing the barriers of time. That's why people love you young and old, Bowers.
All right, introduce Rachel. I want to hear the story.
Queen Rachel's here. Queen, how are you?
Queen.
I'm lost in the jungle, guys. Like, I'm trying to... I just listen to what you guys say and just go run and grab the closest.
Yeah, I think this is ayahuasca Ben, not zombie Ben, but
yeah,
you've been on a bit of a bender.
Get Efren Ramirez here. Is it too late?
Is this Bender Gleib?
Exactly. So I have a fun story, and I don't know exactly how to tell this exactly, but so right before I moved from Indianapolis, like 2.5 years ago, I did a comedy show in Indianapolis with Steve, and he brought a girl with him that looks a lot like Rachel, or at least in my mind.
Hold on, let's rewind
like
for a second.
Yes.
So I was seeing someone for a couple of months. She came with me to this comedy show, and that is where Bowers originally met her. And then shortly after that, we also all went to a baseball game together.
So I met her a second time.
Yes.
And then when I met Rachel the first time, she said, "I'm Steve's friend from Cincinnati." And I was like, oh, I thought it was this. So this whole time, I thought Rachel was Steve's ex-girlfriend. This whole time. I did not know.
When did you find out?
Thursday. So I'm taking Steve back his boxes he lent me. And I said something about, well, you dated Rachel, and that worked out. He goes, what do you mean I dated Rachel? I'm like, remember we went to that baseball game? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's a completely different person. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious?
And by the way, it took me way longer to figure out than Bowers is saying just now. Like, it was because we were talking about the idea of, like, you know, some comics that have dated, and I said something about how, yeah, you know, it's difficult because, you know, if you break up with somebody, then you got to work together. And that's when he was like, well, you can work with Rachel. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you dated Rachel. I was like, I was unaware. When did I date Rachel? And then he starts like saying, he's like, yeah, you know, I met her in Cincinnati. I'm like, good for you for meeting her then. That's where she used to be from. And I didn't even put together that he was saying, like, when we went to a Reds game. And it like took probably 5 minutes before I was like, oh, fuck. No, that's a different human being, Bowers. That is a completely different person.
That is hilarious.
Oh my God.
I also love that probably Bowers was saying it this way. He was probably like, point is, like, you can date someone you work with, and it works out sometimes, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so apparently it's good that Rachel and I are still on good terms. We never dated.
Swear to God, this whole time.
That is so funny.
And like, I met so many comics, you know, I'm like, how does Steve's ex-girlfriend know this many comics? This is amazing. This whole time.
You never thought to ask, or like.
Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. I mean, I was just like,
He didn't want to meddle. He was worried about bringing back up some old demons. And look, Rachel, you and I have just gotten past the fact that we've never dated. And he was worried. He was worried that might bring that up again, and so.
You know what? I appreciate the sensitivity around the topic.
So yeah, so that was my week.
Bowers, that story shows that you're both a very good friend because you didn't want to bring anything up, and also a very bad friend because you don't remember what people look like.
Well,
Well, now I need to see. So if you guys in the group chat could just text me a picture of her too, because
I'm just saying. Again, it was she. I don't think they even looked that much alike. She was the same build and had dark hair. That was it. But she said I'm Steve's friend from Cincinnati. Right?
It was Krista Mugliotti from Who's a Million Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
From Who Wants to Be a How I Met Your Mother? Is that what you just did?
Yep.
Yeah, it was you do look alike in that you're both brunette females.
She said Steve's friend from Cincinnati. That's what she said the first time she met me, and I was like,
brunette.
"Oh yeah, I remember you." That's what happened. That's what it was. Just the way, because it wouldn't occur to me that Steve would have two friends anywhere. So
No brunettes.
I don't. I have one ex and one friend. And I didn't even meet
Bowers is
Rachel.
still like, it has to be the same person, right? It's still got to be the same person.
I didn't even meet Rachel in Cincinnati. The first time we met was in Melbourne, Australia, because she was a friend of Malone's. And so she was like, oh yeah. So she came to a show and she was like, hey, I'm Mike Malone's friend. And like, that's how we originally met. And
And
so
that's how I
like,
met Ben, and that's how I met Bowers. I literally met all three of you individually from the same person.
All through Malone?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Malone on the show.
yeah, and the idea that like to me, she's not even my friend from Cincinnati. She's my friend from Melbourne who now lives here. And so like the idea, it's fun for me. This is very fun for me.
And Rachel is
blew my mind.
my friend.
I drove home in silence going, I can't believe I fucked that up for 2 minutes.
That is so funny.
Oh, we should totally do a game where we just invent backstories for each other.
That's just so weird, though, that you would have thought, Bowers, that Rachel dated two of us. Isn't that odd?
I haven't dated any comedians. Can we just say that?
You can say that. You can just say that if you want.
During soundcheck, what did you say people think you are?
I said people think, but I'm not a chuckle fucker.
Which is what they call.
That's what they call females that hang around comedians and have intercourse with comedians.
The chuckle fucker.
Okay, I guess Carmel's not a chuckle fucker either.
Maybe if you had another album.
Yeah. By the way, Ben, I think it's really great that we get to work together after we served on separate sides of the war.
Is that me looking like I'm in the army joke?
No, that's inventing backstories for all of us. That's
got it. No, the war. I didn't hear you say war. I thought you said not war. That's true.
Ben, are you okay?
I'm great. No, I'm great. I know I look disheveled, but I feel fantastic.
No, I get it. Ben, war changes people. I get it.
All I keep picturing is that explosion and then me carrying Steve out of there. And that's why Steve has no legs. And that's why he never shows the bottom half of his body in the show. People don't know.
That is why. Bowers and I actually met.
I got to do it. Ben's carrying Steve out, and there's another guy carrying his penis. Okay.
You didn't have to do it.
You didn't have to do that. Although I would like to believe that if that happened, that was a little person carrying his penis out under, just at the right height. They have that for just that purpose.
Oh my god.
What's
Bowers and I met though.
Wait, but
Bowers and I originally met at a TGI Fridays.
is that true?
Yeah. I had ordered the nachos, and when he brought them over, I was like, "Hey, nice jacket. We've been friends ever since."
I'd eaten one off his plate, and the cheese was still stuck in his plate.
That reminds me of a time when I was at this like fancy bar restaurant in Hollywood like 2 years ago, and a friend of mine was sitting at a table with Demi Moore, and I was very stoned, and I went over and said hi, and Demi Moore was very nice, and they had French fries in front of them, and I was like, ooh, French fries, and Demi Moore was like, would you like one of my fries? And I'm like, sure. Fries are meant for sharing, so I had one, but I was stoned. It was so fucking good. I had another, and I had no joke. I went back about 10 times. I had about 30 of those fries, decimated 80% of what was left, and that's not the way to become friends with Demi Moore, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, you lost the Comedy Cellar for trying to get half-price food, and you lost friendship with Demi Moore by eating her fries. I can see a pattern here.
That is
You're
correct.
not going to make your weight. So yeah,
Ben, how's the weight loss challenge going?
She offered me half a bucket of fries for one night with her, and I turned it down. It was a terrible exposure. Weight loss challenge not going well. It was going good yesterday, and then I went over to a friend's house, and Carmel made me bring the baked cookies that she made, and so I had those when I got stoned, and also sushi, and also finished everybody else's sushi, and had a bunch of Lay's potato chips that also she told me to bring. This is a sabotage. It's a fucking sabotage, and I'm back to 206.5. So now I've only lost under 3 pounds, and I have just under 7 pounds to go in 6 days.
It's going to be
yes.
difficult. Also, Ben, I just want to be clear with everybody. Ben was dishonorably discharged for eating everyone else's meal rations. It's
That's correct, and also Steve was dishonorably discharged for calling it rations instead of rations. And
all right. Well, we did not have an overnight game. They don't do that on Friday since Saturday's so early, which I understand. So, Steve, what's today's game?
Today's game is in honor of The Handmaid's Tale that is being nominated for the Supreme Court. Amy Coney Barrett, who is one of those, won't you please think of the children? And then does nothing to help children. We are making a movie less fun because she is no fun. And she wants to make everything less fun. So the way it works is you take the movie title and you make it less fun, like Lord of the Rings, Return to the Library Book, or pulp nonfiction, or Reservoir Cats. Just anything to make a movie less fun. What you do is you comment in any of the streams. You can throw an entry in any of the streams, whether it is Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. But you can also have a much better chance of getting yours read at the end, as well as winning the grand prize by throwing in your entry with a tip of at least $5 on Venmo, PayPal, or on Super Chat. We'll read those at the end.
All right. Sounds
those are facts. So if you guys are interested in this, I have this idea where we invite the audience in and they get to join us in a video front row. Are you game?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Please.
That's fun. Let's try it.
Turn on your cameras and join us, our VIP video front row. It is so exciting. We have Tam Brown, vote for me if you want to live. We've got Sean Ehrlich, sporting the blue. We've got Leedy Corbin in a bun with a sweater. She has aged. She's now 80 years old and will be drawing mostly retirement-themed drawings. Heather Pleather O'Connor is with us from outside but still mosquito safe. We've got Allie West, delicious drinks going down her gullet. We've got Hayden Graphics Lamaster with the Isolation Nation shirt that he designed. We've got JJ blowing out smoke. Let's hope it's weed and not cigarettes. We want you to live a very long life. George, God bless you. We've got Jessica. What is that? Is that weed? Did you prove that was weed?
That's a
Jewel. Okay, fair enough. Jessica Keibel with the beautiful Kentucky Derby style side piece right there. Wow. Are you going to a British wedding? And we've got Jan Skittles Johnson, not rocking today, but about to be eaten by a large wolf. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Nice. We also have two awesome comics as always. Ricarlo Flanagan is back. Ricarlo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How's everybody? Thank Bowers. Shout out to you for that Motown appropriation jacket. I love it.
Also, and Ricarlo, shout out to you for being utterly shocked that we introduced you in that moment.
Oh man.
We also have Carolyn Riley is here. Carolyn, how are you?
Hello, good to be here. Slightly less shocked that I'm getting introduced.
Hello.
Nice. Where are you coming from?
I'm from New York.
You're in New York right now? Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we're excited you guys are here. We're going to have a fun show. Rach, we got anything coming in before we get rolling?
We do. There's a couple. So, who is this? Jacqueline She tipped the show $5 and said, Rachel, can you wolf whistle at Bowers for me? Between the weight loss and new jacket, I can't help myself. I don't know.
Oh, damn.
Then
Bowers,
Bowers
I'd
did his
like you to meet my
dancing
friend
face
from
again.
Cincinnati.
Hey, there you go.
And Bowers just did his weird dancing pigeon neck again, and he lost it all.
Yeah, now she can suddenly help herself. It's weird.
Bowers has been cooped up all quarantine.
That tipper was like Bowers at a buffet. She can't help herself.
That tipper was like Bowers at a mashed potatoes buffet.
Or Ben with anything that Carmel bakes.
Brings to parties and then gets him baked and makes him eat.
And the last thing we had is Alexander Breyer tipped the show and said, Ben looks like he's been chasing dragons on chocolate mushrooms all night.
Yeah, you party with Jen Cobra. I like it. All right, well, let's go to comedy set. Let's just get this show rolling right now. Ricardo, if you want to turn your camera back on, because I'm about to introduce you. I didn't want you to be surprised when I did that. So, okay. So coming up next, he's been on all kinds of shows. He was on so I fucking love this guy. Showtime. You've seen him on Showtime. Give it Ricarlo Flanagan, everybody.
Woo! Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you so. Yeah, Bowers, I have been on TV. It's weird. It's a weird experience to be an actor, like to be on television, because like people start running up on you with their dreams, especially your friends. It's really weird. It's like, you know, people are coming to you like, oh man, I always wanted to do that. I'm like, really? You had dreams? You've been selling drugs since I known you. I had no idea you had dreams. Which makes sense though, because you know, a drug dealer definitely wants to be an actor, because I don't think you know a better actor than a drug dealer. Just go up to them and ask them if they have drugs and watch them put on an Oscar-worthy performance. Whatever do you mean? Drugs? I possess narcotics? That's ridiculous. What type of drugs were you looking for? You know? I discovered something recently about myself. I discovered what's called a gypsy. I didn't know what gypsies were, but I'm actually a gypsy myself, because I've been on my own since I was about 16 years old. The reason why I was on my own was because I got kicked out after one of my family members assaulted me with a knife, and they assaulted me because I was defending another family member, which, you know, gave birth to me. And let me just tell you guys, doing the right thing is always a bad decision, because you will always end up suffering. It's not gonna, you know, the movies always tell you, hey, you do the right thing, you're gonna end up living on a farm with beautiful land and making sweet love to the woman of your dreams. That's not true. You're gonna end up homeless for about, you know, 20 years, and then you're gonna end up doing a set at the Nowhere Comedy Club. That's what end up happening to you. Oh man, the world is crazy right now. Everything's a little bizarre. You know, people are unsure about the future, and you know, for some reason, we picked a time where pestilence is at an all-time high to have racial tension and racial injustice, which is really weird. I personally, I'm a big fan of racism. I don't know. I don't know if people realize how great racism is and how like we're gonna miss it. Like, you know, just the stupidity of it. You know, like I remember one day I was on the elevator. It was two Asian girls. I had pressed a button to open the door, and they looked up at me and went, "Hi," and I was just like, okay. So I slid on the elevator. I'm like, excuse me, and they interlocked arms and slid to the side in unison, and I'm like, damn. What do you think I'm gonna do on this elevator between floors 3 and 5? You know, like the most I got time to do is get my dick on your shoulder. That's like the most that and then I'm just gonna walk off the elevator. That's just dick on shoulder, exit. That's exactly what's gonna happen. You know, a lot of racial injustice is hilarious too, because it shows me just how quickly people become experts. Like recently, you had the Breonna Taylor incident. Of course, she didn't get justice, but then you like hear the commentary from people who you know are no experts, but all of a sudden they just have, well, first of all, they had a no-knock warrant. I don't know if you know anything about a no-knock warrant, but that means that they don't have to knock. They can just enter your house. And first of all, she was involved in drugs. I'm like, you're missing 3 of your teeth. You're absolutely involved in drugs. You're not involved in drugs. You got the drugs. As a matter of fact, do you want to be an actor? Because most people I know with the drugs want to be actors. Yeah, man, it's crazy out here, man. You know, I got a suggestion for all the black people out there, black males. You know, if you don't want to get shot by the cops, I think the best option for us is to all buy Toyota Priuses, because there's no such thing as probable cause in a Toyota Prius. Like, you don't even look right. Like, you couldn't even report that story. Like, they pulled the man over in his Toyota Prius to question him. What? Why did you pull over somebody in a Toyota Prius? That's literally the most harmless car in the world. You can't even put in the Toyota Prius. Yeah, man.
Carlo, you're muted.
Now you're muted. Hang on, you're muted, man.
You're muted. Apparently this segment is sponsored by Toyota.
Yeah, Toyota just muted me. They called. You guys gotta this show is watched by many people. You'd be surprised. What was I talking about? I was talking about my mom asking me about marriage. Yeah, which the answer to that question is no. I'm not gonna do that. For one, I'm just scared to get married. For one, because I don't know. I watch a lot of Forensic Files. I don't know if you ever seen that show, but like a lot of people get murdered 10 years into marriage, and it's just like if you had stayed single, you probably would still be alive today. You probably wouldn't have had bleach in your think about not being here just because you were in love. Just stay single. I don't know why people just don't. Just stick around each other. Just like be around each other. It's like live together, and then see how bad of an idea it is to be around a person on a daily basis. You make your decision from there. Don't get married and then somebody's so surprised that you're an awful person that they just take you out of here. They put you in the dirt. Yeah, no. Let's see. I also wanted to talk about this. I live in a house where people argue a lot.
6 minutes.
And I'll see you guys next time.
Ricarlo Flanagan. Ricarlo, my favorite part of your set is that after you were muted, you asked us what you were talking about while you were muted. And we're like, we have no fucking idea. That was the problem. Tip jar is open. Top right of the screen is our Venmo. You could PayPal at sdscshow.com. Of course, you can super chat on YouTube. Much appreciated.
I can't say nothing, man.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Do we have anything coming in?
We do. So we had Technics tip 5 Canadian and said, Ricarlo, I missed the first part, but the bit I caught was great. Not like the racism of the past that you joked about, but actually hilarious. Great set. And then we had Alexander Breyer tip $2 and said, you could probably be less threatening on a Vespa.
I agree.
Yeah, no joke. There was in West Hollywood, there was a Prius that just drove through a crowd, and no one got hurt from it.
Of course not.
They arrested the driver, and like they chased the guy down. But like when he drove through people, they were just like, "This is annoying."
Yeah, that's the equivalent of getting hit with a helmet, basically.
We also had Tam tip $5 and said, Ricarlo, the longer I'm single, the more I like it. That surprise ending killed me.
By the way, am I losing my mind again, or is someone playing music?
I don't hear anything.
I don't hear any music.
Motherfucker, this system's got to be fixed. All right. See you guys in a bit.
We'll talk about
You
it.
smell toast, Steve? That may not be this could not be a system problem.
You smell musical toast, Steve? Is that what's happening?
Haywood Banks.
No, honestly, what's happening is that I have a Bluetooth function on my speakers and apparently every now and then my neighbor does stuff with their Bluetooth and doesn't know they're sending it to me. I think that's it.
Your neighbor
Every time this
stealing
has
your
happened-
Bluetooth? I've never heard of stealing Bluetooth. Wi-Fi, that's a thing.
No, not stealing Bluetooth, but being too dumb to know that you're sending your stuff to a speaker system that's not yours.
They connected to your Bluetooth because you don't have a password on your Bluetooth. Because who would be stupid enough to fucking hook to the wrong Bluetooth? Is what you're saying. And your neighbors are those people.
You don't set a password on your Bluetooth.
That's what I'm saying.
Bluetooth,
I'm saying that's my point.
Yeah,
I'm saying if I've got my speaker, I hit the thing and I'm connected. They're just hitting the wrong button. Is what you're saying.
yeah, they're connecting to a Bluetooth that is not their own, and mine is like a specific amp brand that they probably don't have the same of because I really cheaped out on this one, and so.
Well, luckily, them connecting to your Bluetooth has not sidetracked the show at all, at least. So that's
Yeah.
At least it's interesting. At least it's an interesting thing to talk about. That's cool. And that's
pretty
that's
amazing.
Well,
It's-
here's the thing. I got up and changed it, and in that time, y'all said nothing. So don't blame me for this.
That's true. Well, we wanted to know what
I used to
music it
live in my-
was, if you liked it, if you didn't like it.
What'd you say, Carolyn?
Oh, I was gonna say I used to live with my older brother, and then when we moved out, we still had access to each other's like Alexa devices. So I was in New York and he was in Boston, but we would periodically take turns at like 3 a.m. going on our Spotify and like blasting like Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham in the other person's room or something like obnoxious, because the other person would always forget they hadn't removed access on like our joint account, and it would be like I would always get so mad, but then do it like a week later.
There was when when Brett Druck stayed with me before we went out on tour, he was like, "Hey, I'm exhausted. I'm just gonna take a shower and go to sleep." I was like, "Okay, no problem." So told him where everything was, and then he took a shower. And while he was in the shower, I changed all my settings to like turn all my lights red and start playing Marvin Gaye for when he got out of the shower. Fuck out.
Wonderful.
That was a lot of fun.
That's beautiful.
I love that. All right, Rach, catch us up.
So we had a general come in from Savannah. She
Hey.
tipped the show $12.48 and said, "Chrissy and I love our mans. Look at that coat. Stellar."
I gotta tell you, so it just happened to be on her Spotify, but so we're staying at Todd's and Savannah was in the shower and she's playing music, and then there's talking, and I'm like hearing this talking, and I'm like, oh fuck, is that Colbert? And then it's my album. She's listening to my album in the shower, and as I walk by, Chrissy hears it too and goes, "That's gotta feel good for you, huh?" Hot girl in the shower listening to your comedy. I'm like, yeah, it's the best thing's ever happened to me, honestly. I gotta say, it's the comment I've ever heard.
Did Leah Lamar ever tell her Spotify divorce story on the show?
I don't think so.
So it's a hilarious thing that happened to her. She was hanging out at home and she kept trying to play this song on her Spotify, and it's this like techno track, and it starts with divorce, boom boom, divorce, boom boom, and then it stops suddenly. So she plays it again, divorce, boom boom, and it stops suddenly, and it keeps happening. And finally she gets an angry text from her roommate saying, "Please stop playing on the Spotify. I'm DJing a wedding."
That's phenomenal.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Matt O'Brien, who's a great comic, he posted a video of this. It went kind of viral, where he had a neighbor upstairs that would always play super loud music, and he tried to get them to stop, and they never would. But they had their Wi-Fi, like their devices on the Wi-Fi, and they weren't passworded. So he made a track to play on their system that just went, "Turn your fucking music down, music down, music down, turn your fucking music down, turn it down right now." And it's great. And like did a video of it, and you could hear it like faintly coming from the neighbor's place because it was so loud. It was great.
Fortunately, it sounds like a great track to bump.
Right?
Right, we caught up.
Tam tipped $2 and said, on behalf of Frank for his burn of Ben in the chat, he wrote, thanks for pointing out that Ricardo was muted. Both of us on Ben's link thought our link dropped.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I think that's really cool that Frank is watching with Carmel.
You hear that, Frank?
We also had Leanna Smith tip $10 and said, it isn't much, but the laughs are appreciated.
Thank you.
You're right. The laughs are not much.
We're caught up.
Caught
All
up?
right, cool. Oh, well, you know what? Let's just get rolling. Let's just get rolling right into the next comic. How about that? Are we ready?
Do it.
New to the show. We're very excited she's here. Here with the very funny Carolyn Riley, everybody.
Hey, thank you so much. Great to be here. My connection just started telling me it was unstable 30 seconds before the set. So please chat if I start going away, because that's the most embarrassing thing. I don't have like good eyelids for a frozen screen. They're very like, they always get caught. I feel like that's what's changed in like the like vanity of the entertainment industry is like now we're close up and I'm like, oh, I can't get away with being a comic with rosacea anymore. Like I was doing really well. People are like, are you allergic to speaking? Because it looks like you're nervous. But no, good to be here. I'm calling in from New York City. I just moved about a year ago, so I've been living in New York for a year. Thank you. Actually, rather, I've been paying to live in New York for a year, but hiding from it for 6 months, which is nice to throw all your money away. Yeah, I ended up, I went on a date with a guy on March 3rd. And then this was when no one in New York thought this was that big a deal and thought that anyone who was like skipping work was a huge pussy. And then about a week later, we were all like hoarding cans and like building igloos out of them. Not really. But yeah, I went out with this guy, and then like a week or two later, he was like, hey, you know, my mom or my grandmother has like an empty vacation house like an hour north of the city. Do you want to go there for like, you know, 5 to 7 days just to kind of get out of this like craziness? And I was like, sure. And then 5 months later, I was still there. So it was consensual. I should let you know that. I was allowed to leave if I wanted to. We're horrified. People were horrified with this. They were like, you're going to get killed. Like, why would you go? This guy could kill you. And I was like, right now in New York, like someone could cough and kill me. Like, it's the pool, you know? Like, that was the decision, but it was crazy. He was a little bit older. I don't really like dating. I'm 25, which is like a weird age to be, because if I tell you I like, you know, feel like I'm getting old, you're gonna be like, go fuck yourself. But if I tell you that I'm like super young still, you're gonna be like, I mean, you're not that young, like not for entertainment, like, you know. So it's nothing really works when you're a woman. It's all bad. But no, I like started, I don't really like dating guys in their 20s anymore. I feel like it feels like more of a job interview where they're like, hey, like I found your stand-up online, and I'm like, well, I found your LinkedIn, so you know, like let's prove you were. And then I pull out a notebook with all the notes that I have. But I went out with this guy right before like this all started, and I showed up, and he was like 33, and I show up and I see that he had a ring on his hand, and I couldn't figure out, like, to myself, I was like, oh, is that like a wedding ring? So I was like, how do you kind of like, you know, how do I politely address this? So I said to him, I said, is that a wedding ring? And he's like, oh no, oh my gosh, no, this is my Harvard class ring. And I was like, oh, that is worse. Very embarrassing. Why didn't you tell me you were emotionally unavailable, sir? You know, so you're 33. Like, why isn't it a wedding ring, David? You know, are your standards a little too high because of that class ring you have? But right before I moved to New York, I had surgery on my heart. It wasn't like open heart surgery or anything crazy. I just had this heart condition where my heart rate would accelerate to 220 beats per minute for no reason, like several times a week, which is crazy because that's about 3 times what your resting heart rate should be. It's also crazy because I've never been excited. Imagine if I'd felt something in these brief 25 years, it would have been life-threatening for me, honestly. They were describing the surgery beforehand, and they said they were like, they had to go in a vein through my leg, like in like my bikini line, and they went in and froze the part of my heart that was causing it to double beat. I had part of my heart frozen. That's kind of a bucket list item for me, honestly. I was like, can you do the entire thing while you're in there? And they were like, if we can find it. But no, I did. I got the instructions for the surgery beforehand. It said I had to shave all my body hair from the waist down. And I was like, this was written by a man. You need all of it gone? Like, I think you need it neatly trimmed and you'll work around it. So you say you won't, but we know you will. And also you don't have to wait till But no, I went into the surgery and I told them, I was like, you know what? I was a women's studies major in college. I didn't want to go get it all gone. This isn't 2005 or porn, so I didn't do it. I gave you a hospitable working environment. And that is it. And they were like, wow, Carolyn, we really respect that. That's really great. No, they did not. They shaved me in front of my mom. All right, you guys are fantastic.
Carolyn Riley, everybody. Carolyn Riley. The tip jar right at the screen is our Venmo. You can PayPal at sdscshow.com. Of course, you can super chat on the YouTube. An actual backstory, not made up like the rest of the show, but actual backstory of how I met Caroline was at a college competition that I judged.
Did you date her?
There was a.
I was too old. I was a senior.
I missed. I missed what someone said.
Rachel asked if you dated her. She's doing a callback to I think.
Oh,
you
got it. Okay, cool. Sorry, it was a weird time for my sound to cut out, but my neighbor's playing, some classical music. It's fine. So no, it was a compliment, so no offense, Caroline, if you were friends with any of the other people there, but when I was judging that competition, like there's a difference when you see someone, and you'd done stand-up for what, like a year or two at that point?
A year, yeah.
A year, yeah, and it was. So Caroline won, and the difference was there were other people, like the other people in the contest struck me as people who were like doing comedy, whereas Caroline struck me as someone who was like a comic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you can tell the first couple times sometimes you're like, oh, that's a pro that's just going to be, they're not a pro yet, but they're going to be. And then people are like, yeah, this is never going to work. You need to.
Yeah, and like there were other people where I'm like, they must find this fun. Like, and that's the
I didn't find it fun, and that's what made me a comic.
Exactly.
I also see why Steve liked you.
Yeah. We were already miserable together. So.
Yeah, there was well, it was also like, because it was interesting seeing seeing the people in the contest like talking amongst themselves beforehand. Because like we were all in the whatever the showroom, it was a college thing.
The green room.
Yeah, the green room. What was it? Someone's office? I don't remember what it was, but it was like we were all in that room together, and like the amount of times that the people who then in the contest did were talking about how great their last set was. I was like, yeah, it's not gonna go well. Like you could already tell before even seeing their stand-up.
Yeah. I think I was late because I was doing another show.
Now. Ben, you're muted.
I'm muted. Got it. It is true when you see somebody perform, you really put them into 1 or 2 categories. Either that's a true comic or, oh, that person wears fun jackets.
I actually did a set. I did a set once at this club in Cleveland where the host like asked me, he was like, it was cold, and so I was wearing my jacket. And he goes, you know, all right, so I'm telling you from New York, and what else do you want me to say? I go, no, please don't mention I'm from New York. And he was like, why not? I was like, well, I don't want people to judge me based on where I'm from. I just want to do my set. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with being from New York? I'm like, look, I'm already going on stage wearing a leather jacket, and you tell them I'm from New York, they're going to expect some kind of dice thing, and that's not me. Just don't tell them I'm from New York. And he goes, oh, it's cool you wear a leather jacket on stage. You know, I do this thing where I wear silly ties. And I go, oh, I do this thing where I just tell jokes. And he, with no irony, just goes, that's good. That's a good thing. And then he told them I was from New York.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the one rule of comics, and this is like when we do the comic meeting, like we've debated, like, do we tell you, if you tell a comic not to do something, they're going to do the thing you told them not to do. They don't have the ability not to do the thing they aren't supposed to. So you just can't give them any rules. Like we were at a show one time and one of our comic friends were like, hey, just don't do DUI material or anything about DUIs because the bar is letting us do this for free. It's a fundraiser, but her son was killed in a DUI crash. There's a big picture of him in the fucking, it's a huge deal. And his third joke's like, oh, do you? And we're flat. He's like, that's already the light. We're like, no, shut the fuck up. Don't say the thing we told you not to say. Like they can't. So yeah, he's going to say you're from New York. Of course he is.
Yeah.
I had
I think that example was totally worth taking us through that emotional journey. Thank you so much.
You know what? I felt
like
dying halfway through,
now.
Ben, and I just had to finish it because if I'd have given up on it, you'd have fucking called me a pussy then. So I can't really win either way. You know that. I know it was halfway through, but there was nothing I could do about it at that point but finish.
The worst I've had. All right. The worst I've had with a host was I was in Jacksonville at a club that mercifully was only open for 6 months. But I was at this club, and the host says like, where are you from? And I go, don't tell him where I'm from. Like, it's a thing with me. I don't like being introduced to that. And so I give him my credits, and instead of introducing me by my credits, he just goes, well, this next comic doesn't want you to know where he's from. I know what that's about. And then introduces me. And I was like, this is why you're the fucking Sunday host in Jacksonville. This is why.
Yeah, that was like the first, even though now we're friends, first time I met Donnell Rawlings was one of the times was the first time I ever performed in New York. About to do my first set at Stand Up New York, and I was nervous. And I went up to him and I'm like, hey man, you're hosting, can I give you my intro? And he looks at me like, no, but I did anyway, and I gave him 2 credits to say. And he looks at me and he goes, how are you gonna come at me with credits? And I'm like, because you're the host? You're supposed to tell the host credits? And it was very awkward. We weren't friends for like 2 years, but then now we're cool.
And that is how Ben and I met.
All right, Rach, we got tips coming in. What we got here?
Sure do. So let's go. We had George tip $10 and said, "Yay for the East, funny set."
Nice.
Technics tip $2 Canadian and said, "Carolyn, I'm glad you finally froze your heart."
Thank you.
Alexander Breyer, $2. Hire a singing chicken. That should give you a thrill.
An inside
Reference
joke.
to it.
Someone sent Steve a singing chicken for his birthday, and he was scared of it and watched it on his Ring doorbell because he thought it was there to murder him because it was part of SEAL Team 6. It's a whole thing.
Well, obviously, yeah.
One of those sentences could have been the end of that. Like any.
Jessica tipped $25 and said, "Carolyn, thank you so much. That was really funny. I saw you somewhere else recently, and you're just really fun and funny. I love your quirky humor. Please come back."
Aw, was I crying on the side of the road somewhere? Because that's what I've done mostly in the past 6 months.
Mary Rogers, $10 for Carolyn and her frozen heart. Don't get too excited. We also had a few late tips for Ricarlo that had come in. George, $10 and said, "Funny set. I love the watch."
Nice.
Oh shit! Nice, you saw the watch.
Yeah, Ricarlo also likes to watch.
Hey, you know what? I want to give Carolyn a compliment. I hope y'all tip Carolyn because I was listening to her set. I was smoking, right? I'm listening to her set. She said something about going to a cabin with a guy. Why would you do that? And it made me laugh. It made me laugh so hard that Ash from what I was smoking fell directly into my right nostril. So I just want you to know that you're funny, Carolyn. You're so funny. I injured myself laughing at you. So.
Were you smoking upside down? How does something fall
Yeah,
into your nostril?
Because I was laying back, listening. I was leaning into the joke. I was listening. I leaned in, and as soon as I leaned in and laughed, that ass did a somersault right into my nostril.
By the way, Ben, I don't know why you have to ask that question. Ricardo performs on the show lying down.
Hey, man, I just got a bacchiotomy, man. I got a bacchiotomy. And
Yeah, that's why his name is Ricarlo. He's always at a lower altitude than most comedians.
Exactly. That's my frequency.
Right.
And by the way, shout out to, we had some people turn their cameras on late. So Frankie Angles and also Marissa. And there was a fun thing. Hayden bought Marissa one of my tour shirts for her birthday, and she's wearing it on the show. So much appreciated on that. And happy late birthday.
Nice.
That is awesome. Hope you got that this tour doesn't exist discount.
Makes it worth more, baby.
Okay. Sure. That's what I tell people about everything, you know what I mean?
Oh, that yard sale's gonna be so sweet. I'm gonna buy so many vintage ladies and buttons and fucking. I'm so excited! All the stuff I'm gonna buy.
Hey
and
Ben,
just
can
throw
I
it away
sell
right in
my
your face?
Can I sell my this year's tour shirts at your yard sale?
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely you can. And I'm going to win. I'm going to lose 6.5 pounds in these 7 days. You mark my words. I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to try.
Right.
All right. So Ricardo, we had $10 from Rosella, and she said, donating towards a Prius funds.
Nice. Quietly.
She's on board. Nice.
Can you fit in a Prius, Ricardo?
You know what? Now I can. A few years, like the last 4 years, I definitely couldn't. And I used to have a Prius while I couldn't fit into it. So.
What did you use for the other skate?
No, that is just a wide skate. It's meant for both.
I remember when you said that really terrible hoopty, Ricardo, and you had a remote start on it. It was my favorite thing I've ever seen in my life. He had it had no hubcaps and the wheels didn't match and the fucking one of the doors is a different color. And he walks out to my front yard and goes, boop, boop, and it starts up. I'm like, you got a remote start on that motherfucker? That is awesome.
Hey man, look, I value it, whatever it is. I appreciate the little things, you know?
But also, like, Ricardo's from Michigan. Like, you need a remote start on a car when you're from Michigan.
Yeah, I know. I just would have the doors be the same color before I'd fucking get a remote. Priorities. You know, it's like you see a girl with no teeth and fake boobs. It's like, okay, I get it, but like that's priorities.
Plus, also, it depends where in Michigan, but having a remote starter is kind of a blessing and a curse. Yes, it'll be warmer, but higher chance the car gets stolen. So you don't know which way that's going.
That's why he had mismatching doors. No one would want to steal that car, but it'll also be warm. That's exactly why.
I like that a lot.
They would break in and only steal the remote start.
They break in and steal the heat.
What's that, Ricardo?
I needed that car. I can't have it get stolen. That's how you keep it, man. You know, you get a nice ugly car.
Camouflage. I get it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why Bowers bought that jacket. He could hang it up at a bar, and it'll still be there by the end of the night.
By the way, now that the Ash thing has happened, we are now being joined by Ricarlo Flanagan. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, catch us up.
All right. So Jess tipped Ricardo $25 and said, "I get what you're saying. I got out at 17 and never looked back. I got to pick my family, and I have the best family ever. Do you want to be my family? We never argue. Arguing gives you wrinkles."
So
That was a lot in that. That was a lot in that.
Jess wants
Like, I have the best family
would like to
ever,
adopt
but
you,
would you like to
Ricardo.
be my family instead?
come join us.
All right. Well, hey, you know, that was nice of her to offer her family services. That was nice.
No one should be alone.
Wait,
Hey.
Tam's background, does she now have an Antifa soup can?
Antifa. What does it say?
Throwing soup.
Revolutionary throwing soup?
Nicely done.
He's talking about their throwing soup cans, Trump.
That was the weirdest thing
Throwing soup cans.
when Trump was doing that whole like, and they're buying these tuna cans, specifically Bumblebee brand tuna, Bumblebee for all your tuna throwing needs. It was a very weird, like commercial.
If I were to throw something, I would throw Goya beans. Love Goya beans.
He literally said that. Did you see that speech?
He said Bumblebee brand tuna?
He said Goya. He was like, they're throwing things. He's like, sometimes they're throwing Goya. How about a hand for Goya? Like, that's literally what he said. I'm not making this up. This was not SNL. This was actually him.
Well, he loves Goya because he loves anything that's non-Jewish.
Those beans just look huge in his hands. That's what he likes. That didn't make any sense. Rachel.
We also, so Tam tipped Carolyn $10 and said, I love this set. It's good that you had surgery. Rates that high are scary. One of the bizarrely cool things I did as an ER nurse was cardioversion on patients with tachycardia. We knew that the moment that their heart stopped, it restarted, but for those 10 seconds or so, wow.
Yeah, the surgery sucked. I had to be awake for it. I hated it so much.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
Wild. It's absolutely wild.
Wow.
I have trouble being awake for TV I don't like.
We are cut up.
All right. Well, let's play this game then.
We can
Let's
do
do
the
it.
game.
Actually, there was one of the sets in that contest that Caroline was in. I had trouble staying awake for.
Same here.
Same here, she said.
I once had a set so bad I was hosted in Louisville that I stopped in the middle and said, "You guys know this is my dream, right?" And that got no response. So that's how you know you're fucked.
And they were like, "It's our nightmare, buddy."
I'm trying my best. I don't know what's happening. All right, let's make a.
All right, so the game today is make a movie less fun. So live audience or front row, if you guys want to participate, please raise your hand in the participants window. These are some of the unpaid ones that I like. This is just for fun, but instead of when Harry met Sally, when Steve met Rachel.
Oh my God, that cross-country trip from college was crazy, Rachel. Do you remember that?
Worst is what it was. We had Marissa Francis, hairspray, and too much of it can seriously destroy the environment.
My favorite moment from when Steve met Rachel was at the very end when Steve runs in to the ballroom on New Year's Eve and says to Rachel, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to text 989898 to get updates.
Ben's just upset because I wouldn't let him keep that wagon wheel coffee table.
Was a beautiful wagon wheel coffee table. Baby fish mouth.
The last unpaid that I really liked was from Raz. He had Schindler's shopping list.
Oh God. The savings.
That's good.
Antifa throwing soup and
okay, so comics. So Ricarlo and Carolyn, these are the ones that we're going to start to vote on, starting with our live audience. So starting us off, let's go to Sean Ehrlich.
Okay, instead of Chicago, Akron. Still works. Instead of Men in Black, Men in Black International. And then instead of Varsity Blues, JV Grays.
Nice. Tam.
I have Idiocracy, the documentary. Basic Instinct, the overwhelming desire for pumpkin spice latte. Shrek, the semi-autobiographical depiction of Trump as Lord Farquaad. And Reservoir euthanized dogs.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's way less fun.
Leedy.
I have Workday at Bernie's. Try hard instead of die hard. And mellow yoga instructor.
That's if the movie was on Hallmark.
George, JJ.
I have basic
No, it's fine.
is not an instinct.
Nice.
It's no rush.
Shooting Private
I'm looking
Ryan.
at it right now.
Yes.
And I think that's it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, George. Hayden.
All right, I had It's a Mediocre Life. And then kind of like Lee's, I had Normal Yoga Instructor.
Marissa.
I had Window Shutter Island. And then Pride and Prejudice, A Politician's Tale.
Nice.
Does anybody else have any? Wave at me if you're in the front row. Heather O'Connor.
Bill and Ted's COVID fucked up adventure.
I just needed to spotlight Ben real quick because what?
Are you the lead singer of an emo band now?
I'm just listening.
All right, I'll get to the rest. So Frankie Angles had one in the chat that he sent to me. His game entry is Friday Night Lights out by 9. And then some other ones. Jonathan S had Charlie and the X-Lax Factory.
Oh.
Amina Sala, Sex Toy Story.
That makes it better.
Yeah.
Makes it better.
Unless it's still about you know what? Never mind. Let's.
Yep. Smart move, Steve. Smart move.
Megan Begley, Joseph in the Sensible Trench Coat.
It would have to be because Bowers is wearing the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
We had Rosella had instead of Disney's Frozen, it's Frozen Peas.
Shout out to my boy John, who just had his tubes tied yesterday and now has frozen peas on his junk. Good luck, buddy.
Amina Sala, Magic Mike Pence.
Oh wait, ew.
He can only strip if there's multiple people in the room. He can't strip in front of a woman just by
His wife's got to be there too. His wife's got to be in the room for him to strip. Part of it.
Jennifer Story, Space Kicking the Balls. Alexander Breyer, Old Yeller 2, The Kid with the Dead Dog.
That's the movie that inspired Workday at Bernie.
Leanna Smith, 9 months after the abortion and still no regrets.
Actually makes that movie more fun.
Steve hates children, just to explain.
Amina Sala, The Princess Child Bride.
Oh.
Christ. Alexander Breyer, instead of Boss Baby, it's Baby Boss, the Kaylee Anthony story.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Wow.
Amina Sala, The Awkward Silence of the Lambs.
It's also what just happened after the Kaylee Anthony story.
Amenasala. He has a lot of these. I love them. Brave heart attack. Amenasala. It's a Wonderful Life sentence. Amenasala. Finding Nemo dead.
So simple.
Somebody is rubbing their phone on a pillow. I'm guessing it's Ricarlo.
He's actually just dropping ash onto his phone, and that's what's
Oh, you can't see? I'm sorry. Hold on.
I think that last one is flushing Nemo.
Oh, God.
That's good.
That better?
That is better.
Greg Murphy. Carmel pleaded with Greg to put in this entry for her. Ben's monster balls.
Okay, I know Carmel did not do that because Carmel's never seen my balls.
Boingo, long last name. Babysitters seal clubbing.
Oh, God.
We had one from Casey in the chat. Jurassic parking lot.
Nice.
And then let's go to Tam. She had some.
I forgot to write one down. It's the prequel to Driving Miss Daisy's Hearse. It's Running Over Miss Daisy.
Oh, God.
Nice.
All right. And we're caught up. Yep.
All right. Oh, man, I liked a lot of those. I like JV Gray's. I like Workday at Bernie's. Frozen Peas was good. Old Yeller 2, the kid with a dead dog. I gotta go with Magic Mike Pence, though. That would make that something very Magic Mike Pence has gotta be the one for me.
Which is
Carolyn, what was
actually
yours?
perfect because he believes in magic over science. So perfect.
Right. What was Carolyn? What was your favorite?
Well, I was close to going with Akron, but on the contingency that it still be a show about burlesque. But I think because I'm currently sitting in the room I work from home and do stand-up comedy, and that Workday at Bernie's is really hitting me hard, so I'm gonna vote Workday.
Nice. All right. Ricardo.
I'm gonna go for Awkward Silence of the Lambs. I think that's good.
Nice. That's anybody's ball game. Rachel.
Yeah, I liked so many. I liked Charlie and the X-Lax Factory. And I liked Finding Nemo dead, but I'm going to give it to Magic Mike Pence.
Yes.
All right. Ben.
I loved Workday at Bernie's, but I have to give it to, on account of the world crumbling right now, on account of these fuckers, Magic Mike Pence.
All right. Steve, looks like we got a winner unless you want to pile on or pick somebody else.
That's the winner already, but I think I'm actually, with Carolyn's suggestion, I'm going to give it to Akron about burlesque, because I just picture a bunch of burlesque people wearing winter coats, and like that's.
Well, it just builds up the excitement.
Yeah. Their winter coats have pasties. Like...
Just frozen icicles.
Yeah.
Ice titties.
All right. Well, that's the winner. Magic Mike Pence is the winner. So claim your prize at SDSCshow.com. God damn it. And comics.
Wait, it's Savannah over your shoulder. Is that the angel or the devil?
That's the devil. She's on the other side.
Well, she just flipped me off, so you are correct.
Oh, I know.
No, that's an angel.
Rachel's just got two devils with giving middle fingers on her shoulders.
We don't know what it's like to date you, so Rachel has the best chance to. She knows what it's like.
That's what ended things. That's why it ended.
Yes, exactly. Comics. Did you have any you want to throw in, Carlo or Carolyn?
Anyone?
Nope. Got one?
The only thing I can think of is Back to the Past.
I'm 2020.
Wait, that's funny because I did. I had Back to the Unemployment Office Part 3.
Nice. Rach, you got it?
I do. I've got 2. How many you guys have?
How many you got, Ben?
I have a lot.
I got about 10.
Okay, I'll just read mine then.
I can whittle it down to 10.
Perfect.
Can you whittle it down to none?
Yeah. Just let me quickly wish you a happy 4th of July, Rachel.
All right, mine too. I've got Exterminator 2. And then
You muted yourself.
You're muted.
Oh, my bad. I might have done that.
Yeah.
I believe Ben just whittled it down to none for Rachel.
I better believe that.
I'm not the only
wait, you're
one.
going next. Did you forget that?
Yes, I did, Rachel.
My last entry was now it's not great, but Slumdog 100 Air.
Nice.
All right.
Ben, you want to go?
Here, we'll go back and forth. All right.
Sure. I will start with No Fun Tree for Old Men.
Nice. I'll go with Dentist Zavago.
Zhivago.
Sorry.
Asylum Seeker in Detention Center Cane.
Not even close to famous.
I'm right here.
Singing in the Light Storm, but still with the umbrellas.
Thelma and Dom DeLuise.
I like that one.
Some don't like pop.
The classic thriller Uber Driver. Is that a taxi driver? Okay, never mind that one. Oh, I think
So
you guys
muted
were all
me, I
muted.
think.
Rachel, did you just mute everybody?
She muted me right after my last entry, I think.
Well, good. That's why you didn't laugh. Okay.
Rachel, you can't get back at me. Me muting you was getting back at you for flicking me off. If you're gonna mute me again, there will be another retribution ode. It's up to you.
This is how wars start.
That's right.
Escalating.
I'm not scared.
Ben, what's your next one?
Lawrence of a Rabies Dog.
I have instead of Groundhog Day, just February 3rd.
I like that. Okay. 2020, A Shit Odyssey.
Goodwill Fishing.
Kind Fellas.
The Medium Lebowski.
Dr. Truelove.
Monty Python and the Sippy Cup.
The Lamb Shank Redemption.
Saving Private Ryan Lochte.
Paving Private Ryan's Driveway.
And my last one, White Panther.
Ricardo, you got one, Ricardo?
Wait, I got another one or two. You're gonna go to Ricardo and then.
Yeah,
Sure.
just have him jump in. What you got?
Aging Ryan's Privates. I think that's what I was thinking.
This whole platoon comes in to help. It's crazy.
What, like leaves him in the sun?
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what are your last two?
I guess I'll just go with two more. Hey Lord, I found this ring. Gonna put it in a safe. And finally, when Harry swiped left on Sally.
I like that. In honor of Steve making fun of Dom DeLuise, I got to show you a picture. This is an actual picture of me on my birthday, a hat I wore, and then somebody showed me this picture, and this is when I went on the diet the first time when I lost 70 pounds, because that was scary. I didn't like any of that.
Oh, no.
Oh, holy shit.
Then it's time to do something when that's what you look like. So
Oh
anyway,
my God.
all right, we did it. It's
I like that. I like the sides of that because that means that Dom DeLuise is the before and you're the after.
Yes, I be Dom DeLuise. All right, it's Leedy time. Leedy, what you got for us? I'm excited.
Leedy
All right.
time. It's Leedy Doodle time.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's so good.
Someone help me make that my ringtone. I have "This Is How Wars Start," but he's muted. The Devil on the Shoulder, Savannah.
Nice.
Perfect.
Brett getting out of the shower, slightly confused.
Let's get it on.
Bowers Pigeon being cooped up.
Oh, he's got the jacket
and the glasses. I'm wearing glasses too. That's great.
Yeah, and you can't see it, but he has his beard too, but it's fine. Zombie Ben, or whatever that was. Not being very excited, but the heart rate monitor going insane.
Oh my god, I love that so much!
Yay! This is what's actually happening with Steve's music he hears, but only he hears.
in your eyes. In your eyes, the thigh, the beak, in your eyes.
Oh boy. Here's Emo Ben. And
I was a young boy, my father.
And because Ben said it.
That's so good.
Ew. Sorry. Okay. Because Ben said it, I made a retirement themed version. Just the old saggy emo version. And then here is Ben saving Steve from an explosion.
Yes.
Here's the retirement version. Here is Bowers finding out that you can date your coworkers. And the retirement version. And that's it.
That art from my heroes. Please follow Leedy Corbin.
Wait, Leedy, show me the retirement version again.
Oh shoot, I gotta find it. Yes.
So is that, wait, because my camera's, so that's just Bowers?
It's just an ancient Bowers. I'm sorry. Maybe you're
Okay.
dead. I don't know.
No, I assumed it would just be me because he would die before me. That's what I was.
No, that's the sad part. I think vegetables is the whole key to death. And once I'm gonna unlock this thing, I'll be like 180, and you guys will be like, dead.
The truth is, I got lazy. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, if I'm 90, I'm gonna be pissed. Just know that. I'm not gonna
Also, it's just very hard to know how to draw red hair old. Is it red still? Is it gray? What do you do?
Gone.
Oh, someone said gone.
Nice. All right. Well, great job, Lee. That was awesome. Carolyn, where do we find you out in the world? Where do we find
I
you?
am on Instagram at Cryley a River. That's CRILEY a River. And then on on Twitter, it's Cryley a River 94 because the person with that handle is inactive but will not give it to me. So
Start a Twitter campaign to get that name for you.
I'm trying so.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. You're great. We'll see you next time. Ricardo, where do we find you at, buddy?
You can find me at Father Flanagan on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on all social media, Facebook, Ricardo Flanagan. You can find me on Spotify, Father Flanagan as well. Same thing. So everywhere. That's all.
Very cool, man. All right, we'll see you next time, brother. Appreciate it.
Indeed.
As for me, you can find me at Bowers Comedy on everything, and check out the podcast with me and Savannah, Dockheads. Dockheads, there she is. Dockheads, and we're doing a thing where we're going to have you rename the documentary we watch and give it a funny name, and we'll do that. We'll pick a winner. So if you want to DM that to Savannah or myself, we're picking a winner every week. But Dockheads, check that out. Ben, what you got going on?
I have my Gleib Off the Top crowd work and improvised madness show tomorrow night at Nowhere Comedy Club from the Nowhere Comedy Club broadcast stage with special guest Zainab Johnson. Promo code SDSC for a discounted ticket. Leedy will be there drawing me looking old and weird. I guarantee that. Rachel, you got anything?
And hi.
And hi. Yes, that is true. I just, I get stoned halfway through all these shows and then it gets a next level up. You think I'm weird on this show, just you wait.
I just want to point out, people on YouTube can't see, but Ben renamed himself to Fuck You, Rachel. And as he did that, I heard a lot of static coming from Ricarlo, so I tried to mute Ricarlo, but I accidentally muted Ben again. So I'm frantically texting Ben, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to mute you.
I was trying to make sure she saw that, so I changed my name on the Zoom to look at Ben's name.
Oh, you just... we had a couple... Oh, Steve, you want to...
I just changed my name again, Rachel.
Steve, what you got to plug?
Come to a Nowhere Comedy Club show, nowherecomedyclub.com.
Awesome. Very cool.
All right, and to
Can you
catch us up...
before we say goodbye to the audience?
Oh, here, we've got a couple things first.
Cool.
Joseph Cruz tipped the show $50 and said thanks to all. So thank
you.
Kitty Perry, $10 and said, Steve, still binge watching your videos. I'm becoming increasingly concerned that one day I may see you in a high-speed chase on the news for events that involved climbing a clock tower.
No, I won't get away.
Mary Rogers tipped Leedy $10, so thank you, Mary.
Nice.
Then Savannah Martin tipped the show a couple bucks and said, Bowers for life, just look at that coat.
A couple bucks and how many cents?
It was just a couple bucks.
There's no sense to this coat, Ben. There's no sense to this coat.
Except the change that came in the pocket when you bought it.
Yeah, and the cocaine, which I now know is gel packs, not cocaine. So.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy.
Oh, Chrissy's there. Yeah, Chrissy.
She had a towel?
Creeping.
Oh.
She's creeping. We're almost done. All right, so
Hi, Chrissy.
Chrissy's here. Yeah, so audience, thank you so much for being here. You guys were great. We will see you on Tuesday. You guys are amazing as always. Rach, got anything before we get out of here?
No, so I'll see you guys Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. I'm going to go get real drunk. So I'll see you guys Tuesday if I don't drown in a pool.
All right, cool. I know y'all can't see it on the YouTube, but I changed my name to Rachel's friend from Cincinnati. Great to see y'all again. That was a lot of fun. I think we should do an origin story episode where we just make up origins of how we know each other. This was a whole lot of fun, and now I'm gonna go check out the Sklar Brothers and Mike Birbiglia at Nowhere. So see y'all.
Yes, we can't wait for that show. I think maybe a couple tickets left only, and it'll be from our broadcast stage as well. Our biggest show, the broadcast stage, and also only the second. So I really undercut my own plug there by plugging the other show. And I look forward to the fact that it's now almost 1:30 to in 10 minutes eating a very small salad and being sad until I eat again tomorrow small amounts of food on account of not having to sell my things, because please don't make me sell my things. Thank you for being with us. It's been great being here. Blade shaver and good night. Instead of blade.
What's in your stomach?